Have you ever noticed how the moment you bend over backwards for someone, they suddenly look times down, times at you instead of times up, asterisk? Have you ever felt that stab of disrespect the instant your kindness lands like a gift wrapped in weakness? Have you ever wondered why the people you help the most are the first to forget your name when power is on the table? Ladies and gentlemen, let Machiavelli answer that for you with his immortal blade. Asterisk. It is better to be feared than loved. If you cannot be both, asterisk. And today, over the next electrifying hour, we will expose the asterisk, 10 acts of kindness, asterisk, that secretly, silently, and times instantly, times make people disrespect you, not because they're evil, but because human nature is a predator that smells blood in generosity without boundaries. We begin with the first invisible assassin, asterisk, always saying yes to every favor asked of you, asterisk, because the second you become the man or woman who never says no, you stop being a leader and start being a lackey. Sun Tzu saw it coming when he wrote, asterisk, he who tries to defend everything defends nothing, asterisk. And your time, your energy, your very identity become the battlefield. You surrender without a fight. The second dagger slips in when you asterisk, apologize for things that aren't your fault, asterisk. Shrinking your presence until you're apologizing for breathing, and Oscar Wilde, with that wicked grin, once said, asterisk, I can resist everything, except temptation and unnecessary apologies, asterisk, yet you gift them like party favors, training the world to treat your dignity like a doormat, with welcome stitched in your own tears. Third, you asterisk, lend money you can't afford to lose, and never chase it back. Asterisk, turning yourself into a human ATM with a heart and no pin. And Machiavelli nods gravely. Asterisk, men are less careful to avoid offending one who makes himself loved than one who makes himself feared, asterisk, because love writes off debt, fear collects with interest. Fourth, you, asterisk, spill every secret of your soul the moment you meet someone, asterisk. Bleeding vulnerability before trust is even a seedling, and Shakespeare's Polonius warned his son across centuries. Asterisk, give thy thoughts no tongue. Asterisk, but you hand over your diary on day 1 and wonder why your story becomes their gossip by day 2. Fifth, you asterisk, let people interrupt you constantly without pushing back. Asterisk, surrendering your voice until it's a whisper drowned in their storm. And Eleanor Roosevelt stood like steel to declare, asterisk, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent, asterisk. Yet with every nod and go ahead, you sign the permission slip in invisible ink. Sixth, you asterisk, over-compliment to fish for approval, asterisk, spraying flattery like cheap perfume until the room chokes on desperation, and Mark Twain leaned back with a smirk. Asterisk, I've been complimented many times, and they always embarrass me. I always feel they haven't said enough, asterisk. But you keep pouring until your praise curdles into mockery. Seventh, you asterisk, drop everything to fix other people's self-made crises. Asterisk, training the world to treat your calendar like a free crisis. Uber and Warren Buffett, the billionaire who guards his hours like gold, growls. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything, asterisk. Yet, you say yes to chaos and wonder why your dreams are stuck in traffic. Eighth, you asterisk, smile through blatant disrespect and crack a joke, asterisk, teaching bullies that your spine is made of rubber and your dignity is their punchline. And Marcus Aurelius, emperor in a tent under starlight, wrote, Asterisk, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Asterisk, but you become the mirror, reflecting insult with laughter until you disappear. Ninth, you, asterisk, brag about your sacrifices to harvest guilt. Asterisk, turning kindness into emotional blackmail with a receipt attached. And C.S. Lewis cut through the noise. Asterisk. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less asterisk. Yet you think of yourself as the unpaid saint, demanding interest in gratitude. And the 10th? Most lethal kindness of all. You asterisk. Forgive the same betrayal again and again without consequence. Asterisk. Forging a cycle where mercy is mistaken for stupidity. And Nietzsche thundered. Asterisk. What does not kill me makes me stronger, asterisk. But only if you stop feeding the snake that keeps biting your hand. Now, let's circle back and sharpen the blade on the first. The endless yes picture, a king who grants every wish. Soon the throne is a suggestion box, the crown a party hat, and Lao Tzu whispers from the mist, asterisk. He who does not trust enough will not be trusted, asterisk. Because boundaries are the architecture of respect, and without walls, your castle is a campsite. Revisit the unearned apology. Imagine a general apologizing for the enemy's ambush. His army deserts by dawn, and Voltaire sneered, asterisk. I have never been ruined by an apology. I did not make asterisk. Yet you bankrupt your authority with every sorry that was never yours to own. The third, the forgotten loan. Think of the merchant who never sends the bill. His children eat air. And Benjamin Franklin quipped, creditors have better memories than debtors, asterisk. But you erase the ledger and wonder why your name is erased from respect. The fourth, the premature confession. Envision the fortress that flings open its gates at the first horn. It falls before sunset, and Rumi sang, asterisk. Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation, asterisk. Yet you translate your soul into gossip before friendship has roots. The fifth, the surrendered floor. See the conductor who lets every musician solo. The orchestra becomes noise. And Maya Angelou rose like thunder. Asterisk. People will forget what you said, but never how you made them feel. Asterisk. An interruption makes them feel supreme while you vanish. The sixth, the desperate compliment. Recall the peacock in a storm. Feathers soaked, beauty mocked, and Coco Chanel sliced. Asterisk. In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. Asterisk. But you become replaceable the moment your praise loses teeth. The seventh, the emergency rescuer picture. The surgeon abandoning the operating table because a neighbor's cat is stuck. The patient dies. The cat lives. And Epictetus reminded, asterisk. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. But you have 2 hands and no boundaries, so you serve twice as much as you build. The eighth, asterisk, the smiling punchbag, asterisk. Watch the gladiator who laughs when the lion bites. The crowd cheers the beast. And Seneca wrote, asterisk, it is not that we have little time, but that we waste a lot of it, asterisk, and you waste dignity. With every chuckle that should have been a roar. The ninth, the guilt-harvesting martyr. Asterisk, behold the saint who counts wounds aloud. The congregation yawns, and Mother Teresa, who served without spotlight, said, asterisk, we shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do. Asterisk, but you demand applause for the smile, and a medal for the sacrifice. And the 10th consequence-free forgiveness. See the shepherd who kisses the wolf after every kill. Soon the flock is bones. And Jordan Peterson warns, if you're not willing to be a fool, you'll never be wise. Asterisk, but if you're willing to be a fool forever, you'll never be safe. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine one single day where you deploy the times antidote times to each. You say no with calm steel. Apologize only when truly at fault. Lend only what you can lose, and collect with courtesy. Guard your secrets until trust is forged in fire. Interrupt the interrupter with a raised hand and steady gaze. Compliment, rarely and surgically. Protect your calendar like a fortress. Meet disrespect with silence or sharp wit. Serve without a scoreboard. And forgive once, then build a boundary so high that betrayal must scale a mountain to reach you again. The room shifts, eyes widen. Respect floods in like sunrise after eclipse. Because as Machiavelli closed times, the prince asterisk, men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. For everyone can see and few can feel. Let them times see times a fortress, not a flophouse. Let them times see times a lion, not a lamb. Let them times see times a ruler who wields kindness like a sword, not a servant who bleeds for applause. And as we part, carry this final spark from Viktor Frankl, who survived hell, yet declared, asterisk, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Choose the response that commands respect, and kindness will no longer be your kryptonite, but your crown. Have you ever handed someone your last ounce of energy, only to watch them wipe their feet on it and walk away taller? Have you ever felt the air shift the second you said, "It's fine," like the room suddenly decided you're the one who's not fine? Have you ever caught a smirk behind the "thank you just bled for" and realized your kindness just bought you a one-way ticket to the bottom of the pecking order? Ladies and gentlemen, let the ghost of Niccolò Machiavelli rise from the ashes of Florence and speak the brutal truth. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both and over the next full, unblinking hour. We will drag into the spotlight 10 acts of kindness that don't just risk disrespect, they guarantee it, the instant they leave your heart. Because human nature is a mirror that reflects weakness louder than strength. We begin with the first silent executioner, always saying yes to every favor asked of you. Because the moment you become the human vending machine that never runs out of sure, people stop seeing generosity and start seeing a button they can press whenever they're bored. Sun Tzu saw the trap 2 millennia ago when he carved into stone. He who tries to defend everything defends nothing. And your boundaries, your dreams, your very sovereignty become the first casualties of your endless yes. The second blade glides in. When you apologize for things that were never your fault, shrinking your shadow until you're apologizing for the space you occupy, and Oscar Wilde, sipping absinthe in a Paris cafe, smirked, "I can resist everything except temptation and certainly unnecessary apologies." Yet you scatter them like confetti at a funeral for your own authority. Third, you lend money you can't afford to lose, and never send the reminder, converting yourself into a charity with a pulse and no spine. And Machiavelli leans in close. Men are less careful to avoid offending one who makes himself loved than one who makes himself feared, because love forgives the debt. Fear sends the bailiff at dawn. Fourth, you spill every secret of your soul the moment you meet someone, handing over your diary before the cover of trust has even been cracked. And Shakespeare's Polonius, that old fox, warned across the ages, Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act, but you gift-wrap your vulnerabilities, and wonder why they're unwrapped as weapons by sunset. Fifth, you allow constant interruption without ever reclaiming the floor, surrendering your voice until it's a footnote in someone else's monologue. And Eleanor Roosevelt stood like granite to declare, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Yet with every go-ahead and half-smile, you sign the consent form in your own blood. Sixth, you over-compliment to fish for approval, spraying flattery like dollar store perfume until the room gags on desperation, and Mark Twain, puffing a cigar in Hannibal, drawled, "I've been complimented many times, and they always embarrass me. I always feel they haven't said enough." But you keep pouring until your praise turns to poison in their ears. Seventh, you drop every plan to rescue others from crises they engineered, training the world to treat your calendar like a 24/7 crisis, Uber with no surge pricing, and Warren Buffett, the sage who guards his hours like Fort Knox, growls. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything, yet you say yes to chaos and wonder why your empire is built on sand. Eighth, you smile through blatant disrespect and crack a self-deprecating joke, teaching bullies that your dignity is a punchline delivered on cue. And Marcus Aurelius, emperor under siege, wrote by lamplight, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury, but you become the echo, amplifying the insult with laughter until you vanish." Ninth, you brag about your sacrifices to harvest guilt, turning kindness into emotional blackmail with a neon sign that screams, "Pay me in gratitude," and C.S. Lewis sliced through the fog. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Yet you think of yourself as the unpaid martyr, demanding interest in applause. And the 10th, most lethal kindness of all, you forgive the same betrayal again and again, without ever attaching a consequence, forging a cycle where mercy is mistaken for memory loss. And Friedrich Nietzsche roared across the abyss, "What does not kill me makes me stronger, but only if you stop nursing the viper that keeps sinking fangs into your wrist." Now let us circle back and drive the blade deeper into the first, the endless yes. Imagine a king who grants every petition. Soon the throne room is a food court, the crown a paper hat, and Lao Tzu whispers from the Tao, "He who does not trust enough will not be trusted, because boundaries are the scaffolding of respect, and without them, your palace is a parking lot." Revisit the unearned apology picture, a general apologizing for the enemy's ambush, his troops desert by breakfast, and Voltaire sneered over coffee. "I have never been ruined by an apology I did not make." Yet you bankrupt your credibility with every sorry that was never yours to speak. The third, the forgotten loan, envision the merchant who never sends the invoice. His children eat air. And Benjamin Franklin quipped, "Creditors have better memories than debtors, but you erase the ledger and wonder why your name is erased from the guest list." The fourth, the premature confession. Think of the fortress that flings open its gates at the first trumpet. It is sacked before supper. And Rumi sang through the centuries, "Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation." Yet you translate your soul into gossip before the ink of friendship has dried. The fifth, the surrendered floor. See the conductor who lets every violinist play solo. The symphony collapses into cacophony, and Maya Angelou rose like thunder. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. And constant interruption makes them feel supreme, while you feel like static. The sixth, the desperate compliment recall. The peacock that fans its tail in a hurricane. Feathers soaked, beauty mocked, and Coco Chanel sliced with Parisian steel. In order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. But you become replaceable the moment your praise loses its edge. The seventh, the emergency rescuer picture. The surgeon abandoning the operating theater because a neighbor's cat is stuck in a tree. The patient dies, the cat lives. And Epictetus, the slave who became a sage, reminded, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. But you have 2 hands and no schedule, so you serve twice as much as you build." The eighth, the smiling punch bag. Watch the gladiator who laughs when the lion bites. The crowd cheers the beast, and Seneca wrote in The Quiet of Exile, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, and you waste dignity with every chuckle that should have been a snarl." The ninth, the guilt-harvesting martyr. Behold the saint who counts his wounds aloud. The congregation yawns, and Mother Teresa, who served in silence, said, "We shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do." But you demand a TED Talk for the smile and a GoFundMe for the sacrifice. The 10th, consequence-free forgiveness. See the shepherd who kisses the wolf after every slaughter. Soon the flock is bones. And Jordan Peterson warns from the lecture hall, if you're not willing to be a fool, you'll never be wise. But if you're willing to be a fool forever, you'll never be safe. Now let us loop again, slower, sharper, and add real flesh to these bones, the endless yes. Once more. I knew a CEO who said yes to every lunch, every call, every quick favor. Within a year, his board replaced him with the one guy who said no to golf on quarterly review day because scarcity breeds value, and availability breeds contempt. As the economist Thomas Sowell observed, the first lesson of economics is scarcity. The first lesson of politics is to disregard the first lesson of economics. Yet you live the politics of the pushover, the unearned apology. A friend once apologized to a waiter for the chef's cold steak. Guess who got the cold shoulder for the rest of the night? As Dale Carnegie noted, any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. But only a bigger fool apologizes for the fool, the forgotten loan. My cousin lent £10,000 to a brother, who vanished to Ibiza. The brother now drives a Porsche. My cousin drives a bus. Chanakya, the Indian Machiavelli, wrote, "Even a friend should not be trusted with money unless he is under obligation, but obligation without enforcement is just a prayer." The premature confession. A colleague told her new boss about her anxiety on day 1. Within a month, she was too emotional for the promotion. Confucius warned, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions." Yet she spoke her fears, and was exceeded only in exclusion. The surrendered floor. A professor I studied under let every student derail his lectures. By semester's end, the class rated him approachable, and the department rated him redundant. As Steve Jobs said, focus is about saying no, and he said yes to chaos until chaos said no to him. The desperate compliment. A salesman once told every client, "You're the smartest I've ever met," by client number 5. They were laughing behind his back. Oscar Wilde again. Many lack the originality to lack originality, and he lacked the originality to stop. The emergency rescuer. A single mother I know canceled her first vacation in 5 years because her adult son forgot rent again. He's still forgetting. She's still canceling. As the Stoic Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself, and she is mastered by his emergencies. The smiling punch bag. A comedian friend laughed off a heckler who called him talentless. The clip went viral. The heckler got a Netflix special. My friend got therapy, Nietzsche. He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. And he became the punchline. the guilt-harvesting martyr. A volunteer bragged about working 80-hour weeks for the charity. The donors stopped giving. The staff stopped caring. Mother Teresa, if you are humble, nothing will touch you. Neither praise nor disgrace. But he touched disgrace with both hands. Consequence-free forgiveness. A wife forgave her husband's third affair with, "I just want peace." He's now on affair number 6. She's on antidepressants. Compassion as a strategy is defective if it's not backed by competence, and her competence was in forgiving, not in protecting. Now, let us flip the entire script and live the antidote. Day, wake up, and to the first favor, you politely decline with a calm, "I'm booked, but good luck." To the spilled coffee, "That wasn't your fault." You say nothing. Just hand a napkin. To the loan request you reply, "I can do £500, payable in 90 days, or we involve paperwork." To the new acquaintance probing your past, you smile and ask about their weekend. To the interrupter, you raise one finger